Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Tea with TPS. This is our episode number 6. And we have a very distinguished guest today, Shri Dr. KAARTHIKEYAN, IPS. I should say Padma Shri, Dr. KAARTHIKEYAN. He was the director of the CBI, which is, of course, the most famous institutions in India. He was also Director General of the National Human Rights Commission. He has been a diplomat with me in the Soviet Union, the old days. He has promoted tea in Australia. So there is nothing that he has not done. But whatever he has done so very well that he is generally acknowledged as one of our best civilian former police officer. He has been a tough police officer, I hear, but I have not seen any of it in him, in his other personalities. So that is something which has always surprised me. Of course, his most famous assignment was as the head of the SIT for the investigation of assassination of Shri Rajiv Gandhi. And that has become a famous test case of an ideal investigation. So welcome, Karthi. He is my friend more than anything else. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Shri, for your very generosity and this introduction. Thank you very much. Happy to be with you.
Well, if we may start with COVID-19. Everything starts with COVID-19 these days, hoping that we can end with COVID-19 soon. We discuss political implications, we discuss economic implications, all these all the time. But we don't seem to discuss its impact on the society, the ethical implications, the moral implications, how the society has changed and readjusted itself to this new norm, as it is called. So since you are now adept in spirituality and meditation and so on, I thought you should be the first one to be asked about this. What is your view on this? Has humanity really changed? And have they moved away from some of these values, or are they getting closer?
I think, it's known all over the whole world is trembling. The mightiest of the nations, the most powerful people, wealthiest countries, all of them are equally scared, frightened today. Because we don't know where it started, the invisible enemy. They're all struggling all over to find a preventive, a vaccine. And so far, we have not succeeded, maybe some few months later. But as it is today, there is fear everywhere. The most powerful nation, the most powerful people, the wealthiest people. You can see people like even Amitabh Bachchan, being found
Yes.
positive. So it doesn't spare anybody, rich or poor, which color, which race, all that. So it's universal. Now, it has affected the economy, everybody knows. It's changing the politics of nations. Ultimately, people are going to be elected or removed from office by the way they are going to handle this.
And also the demography, population structure itself might change.
May change, and there may be the survival of the fittest. Maybe it's the nature's way of dealing with the increasing population.
Selection. Yes.
Selection maybe, because although we have done a lot of damage, to the environment, the earth cannot bear anything more than what we have done. Environment, all we have been talking. But now, if you allow me, can I read a letter I got from coronavirus?
Sure.
Interesting. It is long, but it's worth it. It's addressed to me, of course. He says it is meant for the entire humanity. The earth whispered, but you did not hear. The earth spoke, but you did not listen. The earth screamed, but you turned her off. And so I was born. So says coronavirus. I was not born to punish you. I was born to awaken you. The earth cried out for help. Massive flooding, but you did not listen. Burning fires, but you did not listen. Strong hurricanes, but you did not listen. Terrifying tornadoes, but you did not listen. You still don't listen to the earth. When ocean animals are dying due to pollutants in waters, glaciers melting at an alarming rate, severe drought. You did not listen to how much negativity the earth is receiving. Non-stop wars, non-stop greed, hatred, killing each other. You just kept going on with your life. No matter how much hate there was, no matter how many killings daily, it was more important to get the latest iPhone than worry about what the earth is trying to tell you. So now I am here, this coronavirus. And I made the world stop on its tracks. I made you finally listen. I made you take refuge. I made you stop thinking about materialistic things. Now you are like the earth. You are only worried about your own survival, like the earth is worried about itself. How does it feel? I give you fever. As the fires burn on earth, I give you respiratory issue. As pollution fills the earth air, I give you weaknesses as the earth weakens every day. I took away your comforts, your outings, the things you would use to forget about the planet and its pain. And I made the world stop. And now, skies are clear, blue, because factories are not spewing pollution into the earth's air. The water in Venice is clean and dolphins are being seen because the gondolas, boats that pollute the water are not being used now. You are having to take time to reflect on what is important in your life. Again, I am not here to punish you. I want to tell you, I am here to lead awaken you. When all things is clear and I am gone, please remember these last moments. The last part of the letter, it says, when all this is over and I am gone, maybe after a few months, please remember these moments. Listen to the earth. Listen to your soul. Stop polluting the earth. Stop fighting among each other. Stop caring about materialistic things and start loving your neighbors. Start caring about the earth and all its creatures. Start believing in a creator. Because next time, if I come, I will become much stronger. Take it as a final one. Faithfully, coronavirus.
Did you write this? Did you compose it yourself?
Coronavirus wrote to me. I believe me.
Right.
Believe me.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I can see the author very clearly. Anyway, but will it change? This is the question that I'm going to ask.
Okay.
Whatever crisis that we come across,
Will change,
we try
will-
to survive it. We try to survive it. We find a vaccine. We do this, that, and the other, and then we'll go back to our old ways. Don't you think it'll happen?
See, if you change, if you don't change, as my friend coronavirus wants, we will be finished. It will be the end of the humanity, all forms of life. The planet itself will finish. We don't take this. The final warning says, all these warnings we have been talking about all these different going on, how to stop this pollution, how to minimize the pollution, how to cut down air pollution,
Climate change negotiations.
yeah, everything all together you call it climate change. But we have done nothing. We keep
Yes, we feel somehow that this will be resolved. Somehow something will happen.
that is why it had to come in a way, the most invisible form. With all advancement in technology and science, people are struggling to find out why it happened, how it happened, how to prevent it. There's no cure, they say.
Yes.
Of course, some reports have come from even Europe and America and all that I've been getting messages. People telling, use of more of vitamin C and medical ozone have cured people. Where ventilators cannot be used, they say, with ozone we have cured people. And I got reports from Tamil Nadu at least, and maybe from Kerala also. See the system of, they have cured it. But medical world will not accept it because there have to be, larger number. Some people may be cured. It is going to take a long time to come. There is only hope. But whoever is surviving till then. Now people are tired of this lockdown. They say enough of it.
Right. We want to get up and go. We want to get up and go.
We want, it's all right. Survival of the fittest, others will live. Otherwise, the economy is down. People are losing jobs. People cannot, they have starvation. Only situation which helped India is, I told them, I wrote a newsletter recently, sent up to the Prime Minister also. Sent it to everybody telling, apart from the medical professionals, help people, and even the policemen, who a lot of people got infected. I said, yes, certainly honor them as corona warriors. What about the farmers who have been struggling and producing surplus? Because the surplus food grains, in spite of the fact thousands of them are dying, committing suicide.
Right.
There's another story, we'll not go into that. I said, you must call all the farmers as also corona warriors, because if they had not produced the surplus food, the country would have perished. The only advantage we had is surplus foods were able to distribute to these millions of people, migrant laborers, starving people, and all that. So that's the only thing which has saved this nation is, fortunately, I think the government is taking up. First time they are doing something to encourage farming and save the livelihood of farmers.
But as I said earlier, everybody is waiting for something to happen so that we can go back to our old ways. So that is my fear. We are a stubborn species, the humans, and they will probably want to go back again to their old ways. Anyway, but let me ask you the other question. Have we come closer to divinity or spirituality as this experience? The temples and the churches and mosques are all closed. I heard a very nice one about that. They said they are closed because the gods dressed up as doctors and health workers are in the hospitals. That was a very good one. And I hope that is what is happening. And so are we moving away from gods and goddesses and worshipping the doctors and the health workers?
No, unlike not that at all. In fact, we are able to see the Vedas say Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. And so also the Christianity also believes you are that. The God, the divinity lives in you. That is the ultimate reality is also there, you know. Because to reach that stage, it takes long time. You go to Gurudwaras, churches, temples, and all that. Ultimately, the divinity lives in each one of us. God created man in his own image. That they believe in Christianity. We go into our Vedas also, ultimately, Upanishads and all that say that. Every religion accepts it, ultimately. So if you are able to, if you are driven to the extent of able to find God in the form, in the human form, that coronavirus has done what religions
great service. Yeah, absolutely. But how about human behavior? What have you observed in the last 6 months? Have they become more responsible? Have they become more respectful? For example, old age is a big problem. 65, they say, you all have to retire and sit back at home. And therefore they think that, you are dispensable. This kind of thinking is coming. Is it really true?
See, people are more, apart from the physical, what is happening, of course, we are dealt with social distancing, covering your face, keeping distance, and more hygiene and all that. What about the damage done to the mental health and spiritual health?
Right.
Mental health is going to be a very serious problem. I'm told 60% of the doctors, they are all having stress in America. I'm sure it must be happening here also.
No, Americans are the first to feel depressed, as you know.
Yeah.
Generally, their tendency is like that. Even in good old days, the number of people who get into a depression are mostly in the United States because of their wealth and their habits and so on.
So more of now the soul sickness, epidemic of soul sickness is going to happen now. It's happening already. So people are driven towards spirituality, whether you like it or not. You know very well, with all your money and technology and the 7-star hospitals and all that, there is no way you can say I can prevent it or can recover it. Some people recover, some people go. Ultimately, really, there is some power beyond all this happening. That's why becoming more and more, people are becoming spiritual. Driven to spirituality, I would say that. Not that you have to believe in a particular God or temple or whatever. Also, there is a power beyond us. People believe in that now, they pray to him. And more compassion. More, because they know very well, anytime anybody can go. Anybody can go. I am in good health now, 80 plus, but I can go any day. There's no guarantee I will not get it.
Absolutely.
People who are young, 25, 26-year-old doctors.
Yes, children.
Doctors working, the children. They not only second day of admission, people are going. Doctors, every doctors are going.
Yes.
So people know very well there is no guarantee. Then we are driven towards spirituality. There is some power beyond that. So they say, as long as we are, let us be compassionate. Be kind to people. People are more generous. People are holding money, black, whatever it is. They are becoming more generous. You know, when lakhs of people were migrant laborers going, I know very well, people came up with a lot of money donations. People serving. They say, okay, our livelihood we don't know, but as long as let us be helpful. I have a few people only working with me. I have not dismissed any of them. Now I have reduced their salary because they have to live.
Right.
They have to live, and then there is no way. And I know very well I can take care of them as long as I am here. And we don't know. So that's why people are becoming more compassionate, more spirituality. You may not go to temple or church, whatever it is. But you are realizing you are worshipping within yourself. Ultimately, what is that? If you can respect the divinity in fellow beings, you develop more compassion and kindness and serve them, save them. Elderly people, yes, we are appealing. I am the president of Age Care India. We are all doing what about compassion. Our people are talking to people who are elderly. They are also so elderly, but they are talking to them. Is there anything we can do for you? Compassionate, the word of kindness. If nothing else, you can't go and meet people. Okay, we are here and all that. Now, people took take care of, for example, police commissioner's office anywhere. So they might be doing it others also. But as this is are you comfortable, you need anything. So age care India people, we do it to others. You have to take care because I may be here tomorrow or not, we don't know. But as long as I am there, let us lead a meaningful life, purposeful life.
When you look at the experience, something that they have discovered is that old people who are in old age homes are dying rather than at home. So this again is a question of their feeling alienated from the society. They thought they were very happy in good circumstances. The children pay their bills and so on. But now they are feeling much more because they are not even able to visit them. They are not able to go anywhere. And as a result, this alienation that the elder people feel is going to create much more havoc in the older ages.
There is a depression all over. Not only people who are in their old age home, in families, well-to-do families also.
Right.
That is it. That is universal now. Naturally, people who are away, they can't be visited. Old age home people, I know very well, I used to visit old age home people in America, also Australia and all that. Unfortunately, the culture, one day is, even in India it's coming, the joint family system is going. The fact that they are real creators. Parents are the creators. We call it family. We know very well. Some God we worship, it's only belief.
Right.
Here we know very well. Here we came out of the father and mother, and then how the mother took care of her own blood, how much of sacrifice they have done, all that. Unfortunately, this modern culture is, people becoming selfish, not before, because of the COVID-19, even before that it's happening. Unfortunately, that's a tragedy. It is happening. This Western culture has come into Eastern culture. There are very few families with joint family systems. People worship the grandparents because the grandchildren are fortunate to have grandparents because so much of values they get, so much of care they get, and all that. That's a tragedy which has been taking place even before coronavirus. Now, virus, as I told you, is a warning to say you are also not certain. You will also become old. The way you treat your parents, your children are going to treat you tomorrow.
Well, another question. In your studies on what is happening around, particularly in terms of prevention and cure, how much do you think the non-traditional medicines can help? Have you had any evidence of Ayurveda or Homeo or Siddha, any of these helping either in prevention, proved in prevention or in cure? Have you got anything of that kind during your experience?
Yes, I believe I heard from honorable people that they have been able to cure people with Siddha medicine. Siddha.
Mm-hmm.
Siddha is a traditional system based on, and also based on ozone, medical ozone, and vitamin C. There is a friend of mine who is practicing. He says, I guarantee everyone, none of my patients, if they unfortunately got coronavirus, they will not die.
I see.
Mm. I believe in it, but more than anything else, you need preventive, let us see. Now, you don't know what's happening around you. You don't have control on what's happening around.
You don't see. You don't see anything.
But you can. One thing is immunity. If you keep your immunity strong,
Yes, that's quite obvious.
all virus, including cancer, they say, it is in everybody's body, good and bad. It's only when immunity goes,
That ignited.
cancer, like the same way. I've been telling a lot of people, and even people who are well trained to follow it, I said, expose yourself to the sun for half an hour a day. Sunlight. Direct sunlight. And then take lot of...
well, you knew a Swamiji who used to live on sunlight, you remember?
I know. Yeah. I have taken him to Kailas Mansarovar.
Right. Where is he? Is he still alive? Is he alive?
He's there in Lachipur, in West Bengal, Midnapur. He travels around the world, and I took him Kailas Mansarovar without footwear, only a dhoti and a towel on his body, 19,500 feet above sea level.
Okay.
And he walked. Not only he walked, he was healthy.
Yes, he never ate anything.
No, at that time, now he started eating all right, but
I see.
sunlight, coming back to the sunlight is very important. Lot of vitamin C. Tablet better to buy citrus fruits and all that. More than anything else, manjal, turmeric. Turmeric is the most powerful medicine and anti-cancer, and particularly for this purpose. Now we have found a friend of mine in the laboratory in Hyderabad. They call nanocurcumin. Nanocurcumin is the quintessence of turmeric. Turmeric we all take, in our food, in our traditional food itself. But that nanocurcumin is very rarely absorbed because its only way is it has to be. So now we are able to isolate it. Now, nanocurcumin powder and capsules are made in Hyderabad. I've been sharing it with people. I've sent it also, you may not have read it. Lot of people, very important, I won't mention names, they are taking it. They say 60 days you take.
Well, everybody takes everything. So you really don't know which one is working. That is the only issue. No? People take homeo.
You're asking me a question. You don't say KAARTHIKEYAN doesn't talk about something about which he is not expert. Otherwise, you won't be asking this question to me. I'm not an expert. People like Sadhguru Jagi Vasudev, Shri Ravi Shankar, other highly placed people, I won't mention the names. I can tell because they believe in me, they're taking it, and they tell them also, followers to take it.
Okay. Let us now go back to your older profession, that is policing.
No, I don't want to stop it halfway through. I want you to keep it. Listen, nanocurcumin is available. You know how to take it? Morning, you would take this powder. Now, capsule also fortunately has come. Just recently a month back. You put a pinch of this powder in warm water.
Okay.
Sip it slowly. Empty stomach. After half an hour, you take whatever you want. Now, apart from that, I have added to that. I also believe in it. Your thoughts are powerful. It can be proved. So you
very good. Please send me the recipe. I'll also share.
No. I'm telling you. You bless it. Pray. Your body is 75% at least water. So that is actually living God. It is a computer. They say water is liquid computer. Restriction not a memory. You bless the water, pray, heal me.
Well, it chooses what it wants to absorb.
Your molecular change is proved scientifically also. And sip it in the morning. That's all you have to do it. Particularly, there is a lab test also. I will attach that also to you.
Okay.
They say particularly prevents women getting breast cancer. Okay, coming back, we don't have much time. So, turmeric, as much turmeric as possible. So, I'm telling the farmers to grow more turmeric because the world is going to ask for more turmeric now. One way of preventing cancer, particularly for this time. And then lot of vitamin C, sunlight, eat more vegetables and fruits. If you can avoid meat, avoid it. Otherwise, minimize it, particularly red meat. Okay, you turn to vegetables and fruits. Sunlight, and these methods, you see your health improving. Okay.
Thank you. I'm sure our viewers will benefit from it.
Yeah.
I was saying about your old profession because I said crime is increasing in this particular period during the lockdown. Have you noticed that? And
Yes.
what will you attribute it to? Particularly in Kerala, there are too many rapes and too many other crimes taking place. Society is somewhat distraught. And is this being attended to? Is anyone caring about that?
No, see, crime, I was reading police commissioner's interview this morning paper. They say crime has come down. See, crime has come down everywhere. That is the street crime. It's come down because all the people are in the house. You can't enter.
Yes.
Breaking is
No, but in
not
the
there.
house there is crime. Domestic crime has
See, the
increased.
house is there, and because of intolerance, people don't respect each other. Particularly, they say domestic violence is something that's very unfortunate. That is why, I mean, it may be. I did not know the Kerala crime is only rape. Or one thing which is not conventional, but a conventional way of telling. Red light areas closed. You know very well the oldest profession. Whatever law may be there, whatever morals may teach, they
It will continue.
They must do. But now they are closed. There are people who are impulsive, particularly get drunk. They have no morals, no ethics, nothing. So I think the earliest opportunity, they can't control, they do something. Unfortunately, it can happen, it is happening.
But some of these places have opened up, say, in Thailand, I believe, in spite of this.
Because one is the reality is there are thousands of people depend on that.
Right.
It's a different subject, why it's happening, how to prevent one thing. And there are thousands of people
Who live on
used to this.
Right.
Used to this. So when the red light area is closed, it is also, and no control, and getting drunk, and there are no practice of spirituality. I'll come back to that. See, you don't have control on. Ultimately, what happens around the world is not in your control. But you must have control at least on yourself, your own impulses, your own senses. For that, you have to go back. Yoga, spirituality, religion also is important. Every religion is not ritual religion.
Right. Faith. Faith is important.
Faith is important.
Faith is important.
Faith is important. Not the rituals and then you continue to do what you are doing. That is, you are cheating yourself and cheating others also.
Okay.
For all that, the shortest thing is meditation.
Right. That we already discussed.
That is essential spirituality in all religions.
Absolutely.
In all religions you have seen, all ages it has happened ultimately. Spirituality is the only way. Then we are becoming more and more spiritual. We need less laws, less courts, less police stations, less jails, because if ultimately my answer to your own conscience, that is possible, not easy. Talk morals. It's only spiritual practices, meditation, can really change an individual. Harmony between the body, mind, and soul. What is right, what is wrong, but how not to do right thing. All this takes time, but meditation is the only thing. I have told you that there are so many systems.
No, I believe in that. Though I may not practice as much, but I believe in all that.
Everybody believes in it. But the more you practice that, that's the way. I'm about I'm not here to promote anybody because I'm involved in all organizations.
Yes, I know.
Isha Yoga, Art of Living, or Brahma Kumaris.
You have even had a hand surgery and so on. You experiment with everything.
Yeah, he just left the body.
Okay, let us talk about the police for a change. Because police force has always been inadequate in normal circumstances. But look at the strain on it now. They have on the one hand their old jobs, plus they have to manage this whole new lockdown issues. They are seen everywhere. So there is a tremendous amount of pressure on the police everywhere. How does it cope with it in your view?
Unprecedented pressure on the police. Not only working hours. Working hours are longer. They can't be given break because people are needed all the time. Earlier it was dealing with the migrant population, controlling them and preventing them. And then enforcing the lockdown is also another thing. Round the clock, they keep going. And then overwork, they don't get breaks. I know very well some people come and meet me. They say they have not had a break last 20 days. They have not had. Some people have not gone home for 7 days. Even officers.
Right.
Officers, even senior officers also. And many of them, in Bombay at least, I know it happened everywhere. Because they have to deal with the crowd.
Yes, it's also Kerala. Kerala is an issue.
Not infected. got infected, and about 100 people have died in Maharashtra alone. I know very well COVID, officers, policemen, and all that. Because of this, the fear, in spite of this, they have to do the job and try to do the job. And of course,
In addition, of course, all this.
sometimes they get to, also they are all human beings. They get irritated. Excesses are committed, it's no doubt about it. And unfortunately, that spoils the good image of the vast number of policemen doing good work and all that. That is there, unfortunately, yes. By and large, I should say, people have great appreciation for the work being done by the police forces. Odd misbehaviors are there, of course, they are to be like criminals. They have to be arrested, prosecuted, they have to be removed and all that. That will happen. After all, they represent what is in the society also. They are not come to the heavens. In spite of all the training.
And also all these investigations, because investigations are limited because of the accessibility, corona fear, how you can't even arrest somebody without checking the corona, whether they have an infection. All these have complicated lives of policemen and law enforcement authorities. But I'm coming to a specific situation in Kerala. You must be familiar with this notorious case of gold smuggling, and that through diplomatic channels. Now, NIA is investigating. Of course, your time there was no NIA. Can you tell our viewers how NIA differs from the CBI?
It doesn't differ anyway, excepting it becomes more specialized, only dealing with serious crimes involving national security. Because the CBI is overworked, as everybody knows. It was created for a particular purpose. A few people and a case load of, they are supposed to investigate over 2.5 cases per year, one officer. It's a thorough investigation, everything has been prepared and all that. Now they have been given at least several times more number of cases than what they can handle. Not that they want to take it up, because state governments want, or high courts or Supreme Court, or they have to take it up and all that. There is a cry even for what's happening in Bombay, that suicide of that star. Now people want to keep investigation everywhere.
First they say CBI, then they say NIA. So these different levels of investigation, they're all human beings. What exactly does it differ from each other?
To start with, NIA was struggling, but now it has become manned.
But originally it was only meant for anti-terrorism, right? Other things they were not involved.
No. When it was separated, they thought CBI is overworked at all levels, right from the director downwards. Their focus should not be this. So for terrorism-related cases, they wanted total focus. So it's only part of the CBI only was taken out. Now it's become a full-fledged organization. All that. If there is an involvement or a suspicion of a terrorism angle, then it is going to be an. Otherwise, CBI continues to be the major investigating agency.
No, but in this particular case, and I don't know how much you are following it, there is this thing that if NIA comes up with any linkage with terrorism, then it becomes a different story altogether. Till then, CBI is also involved. And where do you really change this? No. CBI keeps away from it?
No, from the day one, NIA is taken over. CBI can cooperate with them, help them. But it is an NIA case.
But why do you think that decision was taken?
They must have suspected. It has an angle with terrorism because embassies involved, diplomats are involved. I don't have all the facts with me. The government, in their wisdom, they were taken. But it's put NIA taken. It's fine. CBI is overworked already. NIA is also getting now more and more and all that. There are fewer cases. They can spend more time. More officers can be involved. More intensive investigation can be done. And the government, in their wisdom, I can't say why they did it. Obviously, they must have suspected. Police diplomats are involved. Embassies.
Yes.
And it's a large-scale smuggling of, it's not just for small smuggling through the airports or there. I've seen it. One or two cases they bring for some work, but it's been continuously. They must have done some research before deciding on the NIA.
No, but if it is proved, if it is seen that there is no terrorism angle, then the whole thing will be left to the CBI.
No. They have taken up the case, they will charge it.
Okay.
There is no question of again coming. I don't think it's a possibility at all. Coming back, I want to complete the Sathan case, the police. There, yesterday only I read the paper, the CBI has taken over the case. The policemen who were guarding the prisoners and the suspended police officers in custody, all of them are suspected to have carried this positive in such centers. So it's a risk, they have to undergo no choice.
Right. So in the time of the pandemic, we also have the Chinese intrusion. We have this kind of crisis. So that's what brings me back to the old point that human beings don't change. Why did the Chinese have to come and intrude us now at this particular time when they themselves have a problem? Do you have any take on that?
That is unfortunately politics and greed of power. That's all I can say. Greed. Even that expansionist move, I want to dominate. It ultimately depends upon the top leadership. Now, Hitler was an individual. Mahatma Gandhi is an individual. Hitler, because of the wicked thought in one man, millions of people were tortured and killed. Mahatma Gandhi, individual. He said, I want freedom, but I want without shedding a drop of blood. Individuals ultimately make up the individual. That's why need for more and more of spirituality. Not what of religion, spirituality everywhere. So people should know everybody can live in peace. As Mahatma Gandhi himself has said, there is enough for everybody's need, but not enough for even one person's need.
Right.
So this one, I'm telling you, I do hope that people will adopt honorable means to make livelihood, make money, at least in future. Because virus doesn't spare anyone. The people become more generous, more compassionate, more helpful, more spirituality. More people resort to meditation first, heal themselves first. Then that brings harmony in the family, the society. That's how we can create a peaceful society and a peaceful world.
Okay, can I take you back to the Rajiv Gandhi assassination? The other day we heard that Nalini tried to commit suicide. Are you following it? Because you know each one of them.
I read the papers.
Well, what exactly is happening now as far as these are concerned, those who have been convicted?
The 1991, 29 years are over. I have spoken on that on the television, global television, all newspapers for thousands of hours. Okay?
So give us a few minutes.
I don't want to. First interview of yourself.
I have also read your book. So
I know, but the first interview, the media interview was given to our Kipu, his son.
My son, soon after you're appointed, right? Or was it afterwards?
After we got the investigation.
Okay.
He said he was a young, budding journalist.
Young journalist.
After he was giving, I said, I gave that. You're not to pay the. Now I have taken a decision not to speak over my subject on that. Another thing, I am also part of another judicial commission appointed by the Supreme Court.
I see.
And so I don't want to make I refuse to make comments or investigations on any matter till that doesn't improve because it can be mistaken. I don't know.
Okay, then let me ask you a more delicate question. There have been reports yesterday, day before, that at least 50% of our judges are corrupt. Do you have a view on that?
I don't know about the percentage. I don't know the percentage.
But there is this case of a judge.
By and large, they are men of integrity. By and large. Men of integrity, men of objectivity, fairness, independence. By and large.
Right. No, but there have been cases where they have been investigated, people have resigned. But there was one case in Bihar where he just...
whether it's a police officer or a judge or a minister, they are all journalists. They have come from the same society. Though people are selected thinking they are better than the others. All right. But then they can go wrong somewhere at some point of time. I know of cases when towards the end of the tenure, their integrity has been questioned and all that. I would only come back to say again, by and large, I think that section of the say, pillar of the nation, by and large, most of them are, I believe, I know very well, many of them personally, not very closely working with them, all them also. Most of them are men of objectivity, fairness, integrity, and independence more than that. Corrupt or not anymore. Independence also important. You may not be corrupt, but are independent. That's also by and large, most of them.
No, but one,
Everybody is independent. I cannot say about any section.
no, one question I have is most of these people who become judges were lawyers earlier. When they were lawyers, they were taking cases, criminal cases, people have been guilty, but still they try to get them out. So they have a tendency to, they're engaged in this kind of activity. And when you suddenly become judges, how do they become divine? How do they become independent? How do they become completely different?
I tell you, we have no other option. There is a system we adopted. We expect them to be independent. I can only one thing, normally I would say that.
No, if there is a judicial service.
No, I can tell you, I am a police officer. TPS. No less a person than the President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, I can tell you, is known to people. The very day after he assumed office, he calls me and tells me, sir, you've done the greatest services. Risk your life. Kalama had a heart attack. Now tell me, I'm the President of India. The nation owes a lot to you. What do you want to become? Want to become a governor, ambassador? Then the second day, I mentioned this before him in a public audience after he retired, just before his departure. He said, I was overwhelmed because this man became the President of India. Yesterday he took over. Today he is concerned about me. I was overwhelmed. I told him, sir, I don't seek any favor from anybody. I have done my duty to the nation. That's all. There is no compensation for that. No, you must tell me. I'm the President of India. Nation owes you a lot. Consult Kalam also and tell me tomorrow. I went to ask her. He said, I have not seen you are asking for any person favor. Not but asking for any favor and getting it. You don't live like that.
But you might have done a good job. You might have done a good job for the country.
He said, whatever God gives me, we are happy with that. He called me,
very good. They always used you.
The man was so good, he used to call me again and again. I will say it. So I reported this when I called him for our 10th anniversary of my foundation. Because the chief guest, Dr. Karan Singh was the guest of honor. I narrated this conversation. This man is so humble and good. He made this offer. Then he said, sir, but you never asked me anything. I said, you always interview me as your good friend. What else I want?
Anyway, now that we are talking about Dr. Kalam, what do you think was his speciality? How has he become the best president India had or a best human being? What is the secret of that? Simplicity?
Okay, I will only repeat. Yesterday was his 5th anniversary. 5th anniversary of his departure. I was the guest of honor and the governor of Telangana was the chief guest. It was all on web, of course. She was sitting in the Rajbhavan garden. I am sitting with my plants behind. She commented, I am in a garden, you are also in a garden. So I summed up, I said, what I told him, but I used to tell him also. I told him, I used to tell him, we used to talk like this. I said, you're the greatest scientist of this country. But still, you're honored because of your integrity, humility, patriotism, and concern for the nation's future.
But he had made a guess that in 2020 India will be a developed country or a superpower. Was he just trying to give dream to the people, or was it realistic?
No, he was hoping. He was believing that. One more thing which I said in public, it is webinar all over the world, so I can repeat it to you. I also said, by not making him president again, we have done the greatest injustice, particularly the youth of this nation. I said, out of jealousy of his popularity, they did not let him become the president.
Yes, and also he insisted there should be no opposition.
I also said, again it's all gone over. I said, I called on the president, Pranab Mukherjee later. I told him, sir, man, of all the tributes paid to Dr. Kalam, yours was the one right pitch. What did I say? He said, as a sitting president, you said, Dr. Abdul Kalam is people's president forever.
Right.
To
But
say,
actually, he's including himself in that.
no, for a sitting president, I have generosity. He said, Mr. Kapil, I don't want to cost you very much, but I meant it when he said. I also,
No, but I said in his own presence. I didn't know him very much personally.
I
But
know,
at
I
a
wrote,
function,
I saw you at home.
no,
Yes.
but at a function, I did say that this is not that Dr. Kalam believes that we will be a developed country in 2020. He knows better than that. But what he wants is you must have an objective in life. So India must aspire towards something. You may not get it. And that is why he was giving us a dream, and he didn't contradict that.
And he believed in it, Shri. Literally, he believed in it, and it was not just a vision of something to happen in the future. I also concluded that day with Dr. Tamilsayi Soundararajan in the chair. I said, I have no hesitation telling even today, after 5 years after his departure, he is the most loved, respected Indian after Mahatma Gandhi.
True. I would accept that. I would agree.
To say that, today in Broadway, I have no hesitation.
No, that is how I think history will judge him. Definitely. Definitely.
Man of great integrity, humility, patriotism, simplicity, union. So many stories I can tell. It's not that time, your time is up outside.
Okay, Karthi, it's about. But do you want to say something which I did not ask you?
No,
Any subject which suits the occasion?
I'm happy that you continue to be as active as you were First Secretary, Indian Embassy in Moscow. You went through so many challenging, prestigious assignments everywhere. Then a great job. You continue to be so, unless only people who you take retire quietly. That's also, I respect them. But your experience, knowledge, scholarship is being shared with the public, nation, with the world by your youth.
That's all that you can do. You can only convey your experiences.
I can't request your new venture, Tea with TPS also. All the best.
Very good, Karthi. But before we conclude, let me say a word about Kala. Because the time we air this, you will be having a memorial service for her. I'm talking about your dear wife who passed away. Because we all feel, what shall we say, speechless when we talk of her. Because she was almost angelic in her ways and style. And we always miss her. And so on this occasion of her anniversary, may I join you in the prayers for her and memory for her. And of course, please convey my regards to your children.
Thank you. True. You behave like a normal woman, actually. It's only to remember her and express my gratitude on my behalf, my family, on behalf of so many who have known her. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much, Karthi. All the best.